Welcome to the Breakup Recovery Podcasts by your host, Barbara Stevens. Discover the wisdom and remarkable insights of Barbara Stevens, breakup recovery mentor, author, and public speaker. Barbara offers programs and solutions for any breakup so you can turn your life around, create lasting changes for the better, and embrace life again.
I'm Barbara Stevens, and in this episode I have Meagan Walker with me today. Meagan is a long-time practitioner of yoga, a yoga teacher and a yoga therapist. Welcome, Meagan.
Thanks, Bob.
So Meagan is here today to talk about how yoga can be of assistance to a relationship breakup.
Well, Bob, yoga is a practical way of maintaining your body and mind health. I think a lot of people's view of what yoga is that it is something that is a workout, and you see a lot of images of yoga these days are captured on Facebook and Instagram and other media as being young people in active wear and bikinis doing these fancy yoga postures. But yoga is actually a very ancient practice, and it has a lot more to it than just the physical. There are 8 limbs to a yoga practice, or according to the ancient texts, there are 8 limbs, and these 8 limbs not only involve the physical postures, but they also involve breathing and relaxation techniques, meditation, and they also involve some universal and personal ethics that help us to develop habits for healthy living and spiritual nourishment if you're interested in that component of yoga as well.
Well, can you describe some of the ways that yoga can help women who are currently going through a relationship breakup?
Sure. There's heaps of ways that yoga can help. There's innumerable ways that this ancient practice can bring about health to an individual. But probably what I would prioritise with a yoga practice for someone who's going through a relationship breakup is the importance of sleep quality and stress levels and managing stress levels. So I think that yoga has fantastic value for allowing people to sleep a little better and to manage their stress. So we know that if you are stressed or are deprived of sleep, that the everyday activities that you participate in can turn from many easily dealt with activities to monumental disasters, depending on your state of mind and how you're feeling. And there are some yoga, a general yoga practice can help with sleep and stress. A good yoga practice will incorporate both the physical as well as the breathing techniques, and it probably is important to have a balanced practice in that regard, so it's not overly physical practice, although you do need to have that component as well. There has been some research done, some evidence to suggest that yoga does have or can improve your mood and anxiety or reduce anxiety levels more than other metabolically matched exercises such as jogging or walking, which is very exciting, I think. It is an interesting study, and this study was done in 2010, and the way that they found the evidence of the way that yoga reduced stress and anxiety, and this was that a general yoga practice can help produce an amino acid in the brain that is shortened, because I can't pronounce the full name of your GABA, I guess, amino acid in the brain.
So what is GABA?
It's an amino acid, and it's produced, when it is produced, it helps to make endorphins, which helps you feel happier. It's also a natural calming agent for the body, and it can also help reduce levels of adrenaline, and it's also linked to sleep and better sleep quality. quality, and also serotonin, which people might also be familiar with as being the neurotransmitter that becomes affected in depression as well. And so it's quite exciting that just this simple practice of yoga can increase this amino acid in the body and have an effect on sleep and anxiety and stress.
What would you recommend, or how many times should someone practice yoga?
That's a really good question. Without a doubt, I'd say that a regular and a consistent yoga practice is much better than doing a whole lot and then none at all. The effects of a yoga practice can last for 3 to 5 days. However, for some people, the practicalities of their circumstances might be that they can only do yoga once a week and that is enough. Other people might be able to practice yoga a little bit more regularly. In having a regular yoga practice, that there is immediate short-term benefits that are noticeable straight away regards sleep. So the benefits of a regular practice over time is that when you initially start practicing yoga, you will have some immediately noticeable effects on the body, and some people can experience a better night's sleep on the nights that they practice or the days that they practice their yoga. It's also important to have a regular or consistent practice because in the long term there are many reports of long-term yoga practitioners experiencing longevity, better health on a muscular, on a physical level, as well as mental improvements over time. So I guess that suggests that not only there's an immediate effect of a yoga practice on a person, but there is probably a compounding effect over time if you're able to practice consistently. So I guess it's not a magic solution. It's one that you have to participate in and be committed to.
When women are going through a breakup, they're often riddled with stress and they have a lot of anxiety. So how does yoga help with that?
It can help by toning down the nervous system. And so a lot of the yoga practices, there are yoga practices that help switch the nervous system from this fight or flight reaction to circumstances, which is the relationship breakup, to the other side of the nervous system, which brings about a different set of responses. So we have a parasympathetic nervous system and a sympathetic nervous system. And so when we are stressed, we're activating one side of this nervous system. And most often it is through regulation of our breathing, and so encouraging natural deep breathing, that the body has no choice but to switch from this stress reaction, which has all sorts of effects on our heartbeat, our digestion and our hormones, to the more relaxed side of our nervous system, which has been linked to improving digestion, balancing hormones and allowing us that rest or that time to be able to get to sleep. And so it can sort of shortcut, I guess, or stop the stress habit.
Which is very important when you're going through a breakup.
Absolutely.
I've heard a lot of people say that when they do yoga, it quietens their mind. So that must have some other health benefit other than just quietening your mind. What would that health benefit be?
Health benefits of quietening the mind are quite profound. The benefit of having a quieter mind is that you're clearer in your everyday activities, and that your response to situations is different to how you would respond when you are stressed. So are you thinking of physical benefits, Barb, or are you thinking of...
Probably more mental benefits because, when you're going through a breakup, your mind is often racing. You're often thinking about all the things that have happened. You're thinking about all the things that, you want to happen. A lot of the times it's very negative and it's very hard to stop that cycle of negativity. And I'm just wondering, with the practice of yoga and quietening your mind, it will actually stop that negative thinking.
Yes, it can. So with yoga, and particularly with the breath awareness, moving slowly and gently in time or with coordinated breath, and being able, yoga teaches you how to observe yourself in a way that is non-judgmental, and this is probably a key component of a yoga practice that will contribute to a more quiet mind. That practice will allow you to observe. So, for example, if you are stressing or overthinking, just thinking over and over about one particular aspect of your life or your relationship, that when it has broken up and you're probably obsessing about it a little bit, a yoga practice will allow you to observe that habit and tendency, and then allow you to not give it the space to continue because of your continued awareness of the breathing and awareness that you're not actually that thought. You're not, if you're feeling angry about something, it doesn't mean that you're always going to be angry. It will pass. Everything fluctuates and nothing stays the same forever. Yoga recognises this through what is sometimes referred to as mindfulness, and through breathing techniques and through meditation.
So, Meagan, what's a good way to find a good yoga class that would be suitable for someone who's going through a breakup?
I think a good place to start is Yoga Australia, which is the Teachers Association, because you're going to find teachers that have received a high level of training and teaching. I guess the other qualities that you're looking for in a yoga class is to make sure that the yoga teacher, when you talk to the yoga teacher or inquire about their practices, to make sure that it's not just a physical practice, that they incorporate other things like breathing techniques, meditation, and that they are familiar with the yamas and niyamas of yoga, which are these personal ethics, and that these teachers demonstrate these ethics themselves too. Another thing that can be appropriate, if you are experiencing post-traumatic stress disorder as a result of your relationship breakup, or if you're experiencing severe anxiety or depression, it may be more appropriate to seek the assistance of a yoga therapist who will conduct one-on-one sessions with you and allow you to empower you to face your health challenges, whatever that health challenge is for you at that particular point in time. And they will be able to adapt and apply these ancient yogic techniques as well as evidence-based yoga techniques to help you manage your condition and reduce your symptoms and restore balance.
Wow, that sounds like a great service. I actually had never heard of a yoga therapist, but when you explain it that way, it would be most beneficial for some people to actually seek out a yoga therapist.
I think that it is really beneficial because originally yoga was a mentor or a teacher-student relationship, and it was a one-on-one relationship. And as it has evolved over the years, we've seen mass classes of 10, 20, 50, 70 people at a time, and it's very easy to feel lost in the crowd in those situations. And the yoga therapy really combines that ancient practice with the modern evidence-based research that we're discovering about yoga.
Do you have just one technique that you would like to share with us today? Something that anyone listening to this podcast could do?
There is a practice that is like a little bit of a body scan, and it's something that doesn't have to be practiced sitting on the ground. It can be done at home, sitting on a chair. It can be sitting in your garden if you've got a nice spot outside to sit. And I know that some people can also practice this really short technique if they're sitting in their car parked, not driving, I'll say that now. When they are in between appointments or just need that 5 minutes. And it's a body scan to help you to allow all of the outer busyness to just settle and dissolve so that you have a little bit more of a chance to listen to how you truly are feeling at this time. Would you like me to talk you through it?
Yes, that'd be great, thank you, Meagan.
Okay. Well, you can find a comfortable seated position, and it doesn't have to be any particular yoga posture. It just needs to be a place where you're able to sit comfortably, the spine a little bit lengthened. Once you feel comfortable where you are sitting, just allow yourself to realise that there's no ideal way to practice this, that there are absolutely no expectations of what you should be thinking or feeling in whatsoever way, and that whatever you notice in each practice might be different to the next time that you do it, and that each observation that you make of yourself is worthy of your attention every time. Once you've got yourself really comfortable wherever you are seated, you can bring your awareness to where and how your body is feeling, so the physical structure of your body, and notice whether or not you're feeling tension in any particular areas. Notice where there is other sensations of less tension in the body. And you might like to start describing or seeing if there are words that describe your current physical experience. So in the same way that I said before, you don't have to apply a judgment to whether or not if the body is feeling tight, we simply see and observe that the body is feeling tight in whichever area it is, and then we allow the awareness to move on to another area of the body and observe and notice how that part of the body is feeling. So we're not ascribing positive or negative judgment to it in any way. And then it might be nice to take a couple of deeper and fuller breaths in and out, and allow the exhales to release and relax any tension in the body. And start to notice the quality of your natural breathing, noticing whether or not it's smooth or slow, or whether or not it's a little bit shallow and rough around the edges, whether or not the experience of your breath is more through the neck and the shoulders or the chest, or whether or not you are able to release the breath so that it becomes a little slower. As you continue watching your breathing, you might like to notice any changes that occur as you give your breath the attention and the awareness that it deserves. And perhaps it might be on the next few breaths out that the breath itself just starts to fall into its own natural pace. You don't need to be using your mind to interfere and lengthen out the breaths in any way. The breath just comes and goes as it needs to. And if you're able to breathe in and out through the nostrils, you can. And then allow your awareness to stay with your natural breathing, and notice how your overall energy is, whether or not you're feeling depleted or energized. And then allow your awareness to start to recognize what thoughts and feelings are present for you today at this very moment. Again, notice these sensations in your body as you observe them without any judgment whatsoever, with a sense of neutrality, of recognizing that they are there, but knowing that you aren't defined by the things that you feel and think. And as you recognize that the thoughts and the feelings are temporary, they are fluctuations, and we embrace that constant change of our thoughts and our minds, then we start to feel a little more settled within. And some people describe this as a sense of being a bit more centered. And then bring your awareness to your overall connection to the self. So we've explored the physical structure of the body, our energetic body, which is the breathing, our emotional and mind body through the thoughts and the feelings. Still allowing your awareness to move wherever it needs to be. It doesn't have to stay in a particular part of the body or just on the breath. See if you can allow all of these different elements of the body to combine into a whole body awareness. Noticing how the whole body feels as you breathe in and the whole body as you exhale. And continuing to notice the gentle fluctuations and changes of the body, the breath and the mind as you continue your awareness and observations. This very simple technique of scanning the whole body can be practiced for 5 to 10 to 15 minutes. And it's a really beneficial practice because it gives you permission to accept, cultivates acceptance of where you are at, no matter what is happening. It allows you to feel that what you're experiencing is okay, because it gives you the insight to realise that it is going to change.
Great advice, Meagan. Thank you for partaking in your knowledge. I think the women who have listened to this podcast will have a better understanding of what yoga is, how it can help them, and possibly seek out a yoga experience or a yoga practice for themselves. So thank you, Meagan.
Thank you for sharing this information about yoga. I'm extremely passionate about how yoga can change lives and help people and heal people as well. Thank you.
If you would like to hear previous Breakup Recovery podcasts, visit barbarastevens.com.au. Connect with Barbara Stevens on social media with Barbara Stevens Breakup Recovery Mentor on Facebook and at You'll Be Okay on Twitter. Read further blogs, view webinar replays, and download your free ebook, 3 Easy Steps to Surviving Your Breakup, and much more at barbarastevens.com.au.